And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Okay, Ray, I have a question for you, and I would appreciate a yes or no answer. Two questions, actually. You told me that you pull the cap, not off the radiator, I think, but off the reservoir, and it's full.
Off the radiator.
Oh, okay. Well, the car has a reservoir, so you shouldn't pull it off the radiator.
Well, the mechanic had told me to check to make sure the radiator had fluid in it, and that's it cooled off.
Okay.
I took it off, and that's when I saw the coolant was up to the top.
Okay, so and actually, on a radiator, in that case, when it's cold and cold only or cool, you loosen the cap and let it spring pop up. You do not have to remove it because the minute you pop it up, it'll start to spill over.
Yeah, it didn't do that.
Well, when you took the cap off, how full was it?
Right at the top.
Okay,
good. I mean, just on the inside, but not up to the cap, but right on the...
yeah, okay, all right. So that's okay. So you put the cap back on. Now, the reservoir, where does the level ride there?
Between high and low.
Okay. So and you've not had to add any coolant?
No, they haven't added coolant a long time. Never, ever, as far as I know.
All right. You don't have a problem.
Uh-uh.
Well, you do have a problem, but it's but well, hey, thanks for riding. Hey, you admit it. We have found the problem, and the problem is us.
But Bobby, talking about walking by the front of the car, I wasn't touching the car. You could just feel the heat.
I know.
Many times I would just, when I get out of the car, I go to the door.
I'm with you.
I walk by the front of it.
I know.
I've never felt it this way before. Actually, my wife commented first on it.
Well, yeah.
How hot it was just walking in front of the car. And that, plus the fact that the heat indicator doesn't show anything. And another thing, that when I would crank it up in the morning and go somewhere, within 2 minutes, the heat indicator would go from cold to normal in about less than a mile, and that's unusual. It usually doesn't do it that quickly.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Well, here's what you may have a thermostat sticking. I mean, it's possible you could have a thermostat sticking, because when you turn the engine off, when you turn an engine off, the cylinder head combustion valve area and the head's running 230 degrees will bump up to 600 degrees. If you take any automobile that you've been driving and stop it and go in the mall, you'll have a temperature rise of 30 degrees. Right. So that is, and why? Because you got a heat generator, the engine generating heat, and you got water circulating, taking the heat away. So all of a sudden you shut the engine down. Well, the heat is still rising, but the water's not circulating. So, yes, you'll get a rise in temp. That is normal. Likewise, you come back out of the mall, you turn the key on, the temperature is 30 degrees hotter, but the minute you fire the engine, it goes down below the thermostat opening because it gets a shot of not so hot water. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to call me back, but I want you to monitor it. But just know that if you're not adding, and ultimately you could replace the thermostat. And if I were you, if I were as worried about this as you are, then I would replace the thermostat and be done with it. And I would recommend that you use the MotorRad thermostat, MOTORAD, MotorRad. USA.com, and I'd put a thermostat in the vehicle just to see if it changed anything, because you're mentally worried about this. You and I have joked about it, but you are. So at least do something that's inexpensive so that you can at least say that I've done something and see what that changes. Is that a deal?
That's a deal.
Go do it. Let me know. Let me hear from you after the fact.
Will do, Bobby. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.